Hello, and on the gaming table today, we're taking a quick look at a Strength and Honor Roman-Gaul rematch. Now, you might have seen a video I posted of a Strength and Honor battle recently, where I actually made a couple of mistakes, and so here I'm putting up another version, a rematch of the same forces, having another go. Now, what we're going to do in this video is do this very, very quickly. We're just going to do a quick overview of the battle, and then I'll make a longer version of this same video later, which kind of goes into all the individual actions that happened as a result of the battle. So this one's going to be short and the other one will be a longer video. So we started out with the same forces as last time. So at the top of the screen we got some warbands, a frenzied warband, a couple of units of cavalry and some light cavalry. And at the bottom we've got 4 Roman legions, one of which is veteran, and 1 unit of auxilia. And they're kind of defending a town at the bottom of the screen there. So in the first turn, the Gauls charged forward and managed to maintain a fairly coherent line. And the Romans kind of charged back on the left flank. However, the right flank in the center failed to move forward, and the combat result there on the left flank was no result, so nothing much happened there. The Gauls then moved up. They didn't get a lot of action on their left flank, the right of the screen. However, on the left of the screen, they did manage to push the auxilia back a little bit by getting the light horse into the flank. In the Roman turn, the main Roman units joined the battle line and pushed back one of the warbands, but things were still pretty tight here at this stage. And then in the Gallic turn, the light cavalry on the flank managed to get into the auxilia, push them back and drive them behind one of the legions, starting to collapse the left flank of the Roman line. The Romans started to push back a little bit here. They pushed back 1 unit of warband on the center right of the screen. On the center left, there was a crunch result which drove both units back, one of the warbands going back quite a long distance, but that also drove the legions and the auxilia back a little bit too. From there, things started to devolve a little bit for the Romans. As the warbands came back in, one of the units of legion on the extreme right routed, and you can see the warbands there pushing around the flank of the Roman line. The Romans pushed back as much as they could. They managed to disorder a unit of cavalry and push another warband far back there, breaking up the Gallic line. However, things weren't looking good for the Romans on the victory points at this stage. Things kept breaking up here as the Gauls pushed back, driving back the Romans on the left, and then trying to get into the flank of the Romans, the legion that's pushing way through against the warbands in the far distance there. At this stage, the Roman player was doing anything they could to try and earn setback cards on the Gauls to try and break them. So on this right side of the screen here, the cavalry, you can see on the screen there, managed to turn and managed to get into the flank of that legion, eventually causing it problems and giving it disorder. While on the left, there was a lot of dancing around here with the units trying to engage the light cavalry, but failing to do so and failing to drive them back. In the end, the Romans broke. They hit their break point. They had a strategy point remaining, but given how the strategy points on the Gauls side were working, the Romans had to take a risk and not spend a strategy point, and unfortunately by not spending that they were broken. But given how the game was going, they were in a lot of trouble at that stage anyway, so it was kind of a risk they had to take. So that was how that game went. As I said, I'll do a longer battle report on this one later on with more of the dice rolls and what happened, but for now, thanks for watching and we'll see you again real soon.